Hey everyone, welcome to my channel, and this is the second episode talking about Love Island. We're going to talk about episode 14 and episode 15. So first, obviously, let's start with episode 14, and I just want to say I was 4 for 4 on guessing who was going to be America's top couples. I guessed Zach and Kata right, Melanie and Sincere right, because like I said previously, producers are not gonna get rid of Melanie. She is the drama, okay? But except for some reason this episode 4, not really, which is good for her. But also I guessed Bryce and Trinity right, and Anaya and KC right. So now on social media, the people who voted claim that Zach and Kata was at the bottom. That honestly surprises me. I feel like Sincere and Melanie would be at the bottom. Because when it comes to Melanie and Sincere, I mostly just don't like Sincere. Yeah, Melanie, her personality, her emotions are big. She has big emotions. I'm not going to say that she has a lot of emotions. I don't want to do that to a fellow woman of color because I've been told that I was a lot. My emotions are a lot, blah, blah, blah. She just has big emotions. So I understand, I truly do, but if you are going to be an easy crash out, this show is just not for you. And when it comes to Sincere, I just don't like him because he was leading both of them on. Like, he was being somewhat honest with Melanie, somewhat, but not all the way. And when it comes to Soul, he never mentioned to Soul, like, yeah, Melanie is still on my mind. I still am in it with Melanie and blah, blah, blah. Like, he never, at least not that we've seen, but also Soul said that herself as well, right? So, yeah, that's just the whole thing. But when it comes to Zach and Kata, when fans said that they were voting and they saw that Kata and Zach was at the bottom, that honestly surprises me. I like Kata. I don't know if I like Zach. I do, but I don't at the same time. It's just the whole Bryce situation, like how Bryce is a third wheel in their relationship. I just don't like that. But I like Zach and Kata as a relationship. As a couple, they're pretty cool in my book. But let's move on. The way Soul was like, thanks for putting me out of my misery. And she did like the little face or the little like gesture of it. It was, dude, she had me burst out in laughter. And I agree with every single word she said. And Soul just deserved so much better. Everyone else who left the villa, they try to keep it simple, cute, and sweet. No, not her. She kept it sweet. No, she kept it cute. It wasn't sweet, but she kept it cute. It's just she was being real with it as well. She did it in a classy way. Yeah, that's what I would say, I guess. But I don't like how during her speech, Sincere was like, what is she talking about? When she said this is Couples Island, and Sincere was like, what is she talking about? Oh my gosh. That was my first time yelling at my TV screen throughout the whole entire season so far. And I yelled at his ass to just shut the F up. I don't condone violence, I promise, but I wanted to go through that screen and give him like a little 1-2. Nothing crazy, just a little 1-2, and yeah.
Soul, anything you want to say?
I'm not surprised. Everyone was closed off when I came in here, so y'all are putting me out my misery, so thank you. If anything. It's like Couples Island in here. I'm glad you guys found your person. I just feel like I came too late to the game, so.
What the fuck is she talking about?
That really just peed me off right there. What is she talking about? Like, you know what she's talking about, and you just want to play stupid. But whatever. Now, when it came to the girls' turn to vote for a guy to be dumped from the island or the villa or whatever, when the girls were talking, Melanie, it seemed like they were talking about Corbin because he stayed jumping all over the place, kind of. Gabe never really did that. Gabe didn't really jump from girl to girl. He had Bia And then after Bia left, he went to Jin. I guess because he wasn't so saddened by Bia. Like literally just within that day, that night, whatever, he was sad. But then the next day was a new day for him. Like he didn't really mention Bia, at least not that we've seen. He hasn't really mentioned Bia, or not that I could recall. If I'm wrong, please let me know. But maybe that's why. Maybe the girls wanted to see him just be brokenhearted over Bia, and they felt like he wasn't, which is why they voted him off. They didn't know if he was genuine when it came to the whole experience. That's my guess, but the way they described it, it just seemed like they would have voted for Corbin. And plus, America has gotten used to Gabe at this point, so I was a bit sad to see him go, and sad not to see Corbin go, you know? But let's move on to episode 15. So obviously episode 14 ends in the middle of that night, and then they go into episode 15, continuing the middle of that night. In the beginning of episode 15, the ladies try to justify their decision still, but it just wasn't making sense. Even Gabe was confused by their decision, and he thought he was doing the whole experience correctly. But apparently, I don't know, the way Melanie described it just didn't seem right, to be so honest. She should have chose different words. Same thing with Trinity. Trinity should have chose different words, but it is what it is at this point. This is honestly the worst, and I mean the worst dumping ever of Love Island. It just did not make sense. And I hate that Melanie went up to Soul and was like, it's not gonna be the same with that girl. That's a lie. That's a lie. She said, it's not gonna be the same without you. That is a complete lie. Melanie does not care that Soul was leaving. Like, I feel like she just did that for like sympathy points, whatever, some type of points. But that was a lie, because none of them shedded a single tear for Soul. Jin barely shedded a tear. Barely. Like, her eyes were just watery the whole time. We didn't really see her shed a tear or cry like that. And prior to the vote, we heard Soul mention to Bryce and Casey that she doesn't feel involved with any of the Islanders. She basically, to summarize it, she basically says that the island is very cliquish. So in my opinion, it gives high school. The whole entire island village just gives high school. How she said that everybody's in their own little groups, and how she wishes she was involved, but she's not. Like, she feels like the black sheep within the whole island, or within the whole villa. So I feel bad for her. I really feel bad for her, and she really deserved more from this experience. But fast forward a little bit after Soul and Gabe left, everyone was a bit upset and processing their emotions, you know. Of course, Corbin told Kenzie what the boys said behind her back about her jumping from guy to guy and being back and forth a lot. And then, of course, Kenzie immediately got defensive, saying she's not lustful like Gabe. Girl. Okay, she's not lustful like Gabe, but honey, she is lustful still. Like, should we rewind the tapes of her talking about her and Corbin's sexual chemistry? Like, is that not being lustful? So I couldn't find the exact confessional that I was talking about, but I did find one that was similar at least.
When I'm with Corbin, I really want to kiss him and jump his bones. Like, honestly, he makes me horny as fuck. I can't help myself. Let's just not tell anyone that we kiss, because it's gonna blow it up.
Let's not tell anyone. Mind you, right after she manipulated this man into kissing her, he didn't want to kiss her because he knew the repercussions if they got caught, if people find out. He knew.
And out of respect for that couples, he didn't want to do it. He didn't want to kiss her. He was touching and rubbing on her. He was giving her reassurance physically and vocally. But just because he wouldn't kiss her, she got all pouty. She got all upset. She was like throwing an adult tantrum, low key. And let's not tell anyone. After you literally manipulated this man into kissing you. Wow.
And what about the nights of her and Corbin in bed? Like those face expressions that she was making? Yeah. We adults know they were doing more than just sleeping those nights, okay? They were doing way more than just sleeping. Then, when she had the nerve to say she's pissed there in the bottom 3 and asked Corbin why you think that is. Okay, I actually want to talk about something. She has a switch up. I think she has a switch up. Everybody has a switch up when they talk, right? When they're around certain people and they switch up. But I noticed the way she talks in her confessionals and the way she talks around Corbin now is completely different. Let me know if y'all peep that. If you know what I'm talking about. If you know what I'm talking about, let me know if you peep the switch up in that particular scene. The way she was talking. Let me know. Maybe I'm just tripping. But yeah, she asked why you think that is to Corbin. And is just like, girl, you and Corbin are moving weird. Or they were moving weird. Neither of them were being honest in their previous couples with Caleb and Melanie. That was the second time that I yelled at my TV is when she said that. Like, she pissed me off when she said that. Why you think that is? Like, her saying that dumb mess right there is just, like, I was just shaking my head. Like, explore. Yes, that's the point. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to explore. But don't lead people on to think something is bigger than what it actually is. That's where I became irritated at Kenzie. But fast forward, right after that scene, the girls confronted the boys. Trinity asks why they make Sincere do it, as in dumping Soul, and no one had an answer. No one answered it. Like, Trinity asked like a really serious question that we all need to know, and nobody answered it. And it's honestly something that needs to be answered. Not to say that word too many times, but it needs to be answered. Like, why Sincere? Why not Bryce? Zach made her cry once already, so he didn't want to be bothered with that, which I understand. I completely understand. And Casey didn't want her to leave, so why Sincere and not Bryce? Like, why didn't Bryce speak on behalf of the guys? Like, having Sincere do that was just such an asshole move, I feel like, And she already thinks he's an asshole anyway. So it's just, negative points right there. Just more negative points. So they're talking in that conversation a little bit more. And the girl's saying Gabe is too lustful when literally y'all are on a lustful television show is killing me. And Casey explained it perfectly in his confessional. I might put it in here. I don't know.
That doesn't make any fucking sense. You doing this all because of lust. We kiss each other every fucking day. We're slapping each other's asses and we're doing all this stuff, but you're talking about lust. Are we not all lustful in this motherfucker?
But yeah, they just basically all apologized to each other, or they like hugged it out, and they were cool the following day. So the following day, they have the the fairytale challenge. And bruh, I was screaming when Caleb picked Kata. I was here for it. I was here for it when Caleb picked Kata. I was here for it. The fellows were messy, though, when it came to KC. Bryce, in a mean way, strictly just my opinion, he was messy in a mean way. And then Corbin, he was like messy in a mischievous way because he knew what he was doing when he picked Kata. He knew he was going to stir something up within Kata and Zach. He knew it. Something about him just gives mischievous. Even when he first walked in through the villa, the whole bad boy act or whatever, he just gives mischievous vibes all around. So he knew what he was doing when he picked Kata. But Kata to kiss Casey. But yeah, sadly though, when it came to Anaya, you could see her insecurities starting to come out again. Like, it darn near looked like she was about to cry. When Kata was kissing Casey, it looked like she was about to start crying. Like, once again, same thing when I said with Melanie. If you have really big emotions, you should not be on a show like this. And Anaya, her emotions aren't as expressive as Melanie's, but she does still have pretty big emotions. It's just she tries her best to hide them, but it's like here and there we can see through the veil, you know? Like, at this point, I feel like Anaya needs to go home, or she needs to have more options. And thankfully, Casa Amor is right around the corner for her, because she needs more options. I feel like she's holding on to Casey as a... I don't know why. I don't know why she's holding on to Casey. She claims that she likes him, but you didn't really have him as your first choice. So, yeah, you like him, but there's no way you like him like that. You know what I mean? Anyway, moving forward, we'll deep dive on that as the show goes on, because that actually needs to be deep dived for sure, because I don't like how they're making Casey seem like the villain in this episode, and he's not. It's just that he's trying his best to be careful with Anaya's feelings, because the way she was about to cry when it came to the bed challenge, the way she was like really like about to like burst into tears or something, he now knows that he needs to be careful. And when he was talking to Soul, and she immediately just nipped that mess in the bud, like she interrupted their chat. So he knows that for him to explore, it's going to be tricky. He knows that. I just wish he would also be honest, but I understand it's kind of hard for the guys to be honest, because if they are honest, then the girls, like, their heads start to spin. Like, we see it with Melanie and Sincere. Like, when Sincere was trying to be honest, Melanie, her head was, like, spinning all over the place. So, when it comes to Anaya and KC, it might be the same thing. Like, KC feels like he has to be careful, or else Anaya's head will start spinning everywhere. And we've seen where her head low-key does be spinning everywhere. I got so off-tracked. I'm trying to talk about the challenge. I got so off-tracked. But anyway, with that challenge, the fairytale challenge, that was disgusting. That was absolutely disgusting, okay? Whose idea was that? Why is the last step in the challenge is to kiss, lick, and suck on all of the girls' feet and toes, and then make out with their partner right after? I should have recorded my reaction. Like, the face I was making that whole entire challenge. Please let me know what your guys' opinion is. Like, how do we go from the soccer challenge to this? Like, it was cute at first. It was cute until that very end. Like, with the whole foot thing. Like, the whole challenge was nice until they got to the foot part. Like, thankfully, Corbin was the only one who was in his right mind. All he did was just kiss up and down the thighs. That's it. And the calves. That's it. That's all he did. Kissing up and down the legs. He was cute with it. He didn't do too much. And I feel like the rest of the guys should have done the same thing. And then seeing Bryce, like, he was all in for it. And then him tonguing down Trinity after that, disgusting. But Trinity is low-key a freak, though. So, you know, if you put two freaks together, they don't care at all. But it's just, that was a disgusting challenge. It was cute until the foot part. But yeah, let me know what you guys think of episode 14 and 15. And Casa Amor is coming up. Let's see how this goes.